Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. I am out testing, this chopper cruiser out on some ridiculous trails here, but we're also gonna hit some pavement and do some 0 to top speed testing, some range testing, some gravel testing, all sorts of different stuff. Whoa, and hopefully we can make it all the way back and give you guys a bit of an idea of how some hard riding and, some high speed riding will affect the battery life. So if that sounds interesting to you, keep on watching. Let's see what this thing can do. Ugh. Yikes. So I guess we'll see how it is when we're out on the road and the trail. But it seems like this thing has plenty of power. There's just a slight hesitation there with the throttle, which can be kind of annoying. I mean, most of them kind of have some amount of that. Seems like it has plenty of power to leave some black marks here, although I do still have the plastic protectors on the tires, which are knobby 20 by 4 tires. Some model info on the 48 volt 750 watt motor, and we've got a 7-speed Shimano cassette with a Shimano tourney derailleur. Nice metal pedals with a decent sized chain ring. 750 pound rated shock. Should be interesting to see how that handles the trails that I've got planned for this thing. Suspension up front is an adjustable dual crown fork that makes this thing look, well, a bit like a chopper, which is exactly why I decided to go with this one as opposed to their other model, which is probably a little bit more trail worthy. If you guys watch my dual sport motorcycle content, you'll often hear me complain how a lot of motorcycles come with handlebars that remind me of this sort of swept back beach cruiser style bar that's on here. So I'm really not sure how that's gonna go when we're off-road, but on-road it should provide a little bit more ergonomic comfort, I think. On the right side here, we've got what I can only assume is gonna be compression damping. I'm not sure why it says ABS on it, but the left side here is gonna be a preload adjustment, so that will just adjust how much load is applied to the spring before you ever get on the bike. Basically, you just want it to be able to soak up the bumps without bottoming and giving you a rough ride. So we might mess with that a little bit. The back, however, doesn't appear to have any adjustments, so we're just stuck with what we've got there. Clamp-on style faux leather ergonomic grips, a control pad that I have not seen before, a bell, quarter twist throttle on the right side, and adjustable steering neck angle to get the bars just right. And of course we can adjust the tilt of the bars within there as well if you want the grips angled down or up a little bit more. Front and rear brakes are hydraulics. And down on the business end here, we've got calipers along with 180 millimeter slotted rotors. And that is basically what you want to see. Hydraulics with 180 millimeter rotors. Definitely a positive. The rack on the rear should hold about 55.2 pounds and definitely seems meaty. And up on the bars here, we've got the pretty common 7-speed Shimano shifter. Now, a younger me never would have been caught dead on a step-through frame, but I've got to say, the older I get, the more I appreciate that, and it definitely is a nice thing to have, especially after a long day of riding. Right now, I've got the seat in the lowest position here. That definitely seems like a bit of a bouncy ride, but hopefully we've got enough travel left there. We don't bottom this out off-road. Pedal stroke here is gonna be not the most comfortable on the lowest setting, and I am 5'10". I've got a 31-inch inseam, and I weigh about 155 pounds. If we move that seat all the way up, looks like we can go to about there. Seems like this bike is maybe geared towards a smaller person, because even with this on the highest setting, while I do have a little bit of trouble getting on it, I can pretty easily tiptoe. And with my 31-inch inseam, it does seem like I should be able to get more than enough power down to the pedals way up here. Charge port is on the left side here. So I will get this thing charged up to 100%, and we'll take this thing out and see what she's got. So pedaling this thing with no assistance from the motor in gear 1 is definitely possible. With the smaller tires, you can kind of get going pretty easy. It's not something you're going to be able to pedal too quickly on, or probably want to do for any extended period of time, but I think it is definitely possible as long as you don't have to climb too many hills. What fun is it to ride an e-bike with no power from the motor? So we'll put it on 1. Just a very, very, very slight addition of power. Bump it up to 2, a little bit of a increase. 3 definitely kicks in. I'm gonna have to shift up a couple gears. 12 miles an hour. Bump it up again. Ooh, that was an increase. And I think a lot of this stuff is adjustable if you don't like the speeds, but just straight out of the box, I'm in 5th gear on the Shimano 7-speed cassette. When we're on pedal assist 4 going uphill, bump it up to 5, and she definitely takes off. Definitely getting away from me as far as the pedals go. 6th, 7th, creeping up on max speed. Legs are definitely spinning faster than I would want them to for any extended period of time. I mean, if you really want to get a workout and do some short sprints, this would work, but for the majority of the time, I think you're going to end up pretty much ghost pedaling this. The bumps, ooh, what bumps? The handling, I mean, you can feel that sort of where you're connected to the frame is really high up, and with the shorter wheels on there, I mean, it's definitely sort of an odd feeling, but I don't think it's something that you couldn't get used to. How do the brakes feel at first grab, coming down from 28-ish. Whoa! Yeah, they feel all right. Let's put this down in first gear here, and we will do a 0 to top speed run here. Put this on pedal assist 5. Prime the pedal here, and I will give it throttle and pretty much everything I've got with my feet. Let's see how this thing compares to everything else I have tested. Ready, go! Not a bad takeoff. Definitely seems pretty zippy. 28. There it was. Yeah, not bad. And then definitely tapers the power off once you get here. But we'll hold 28, over 28, with just the throttle. Oh no! Oh, this thing. The brakes definitely feel good. Pumps definitely are soaked up pretty well. This is actually a pretty rough road, honestly. And I mean, while of course I'm still getting some sort of input when I go over them. I mean, you can probably kind of tell in my voice. Yeah, the bike really does a good job. The thing is, though, keep in mind that suspension is great when we're just sitting on the seat and going over some bumps. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure I am bottoming the rear here. I swear I spend more time on the side of the road doing this stuff than anything else. See if I can give you guys a better idea of what that looks like now. So, yeah, there. Definitely the bottom. So, I mean, it depends on, you know, what you're looking to do with this thing, and I would assume that most people that want, you know, a nice cruiser style bike like this are not really going to be doing anything more intense than what I'm doing right here. So I mean, if this is what your goal is, I would say this is a pretty comfy bike. The seat, it does have some squish to it, but I guess maybe it's just too much that I'm going right down to the plastic. I wouldn't say it's uncomfortable, it just feels, I guess, firm, which honestly, I'm finding out in my old age anyways that a kind of firm seat is really what I need, or at least what I like. It gives me the most long-term comfort. So I guess we'll carry on with the rest of the video and I can report back on my bottom towards the end. How about a wheelie? Can we squeak one of those out? Oh, yep. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. How about a wheelie? Can we squeak one of those out? Oh, yep. Well, it can wheelie. We know that. Good way to wreck a camera, too, I guess. I'm batting 1,000 today. I guess maybe we'll cautiously try that again. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it definitely, once it gets going, it has a decent amount of power. Let's test the sensor here. So we'll start pedaling, and there's power. Cuts off, pedaling, power. So almost by the time I get a full rotation, like 3/4, just a slightly bigger chainring up front would make this thing much nicer to cruise at sort of the top end on. Of course, we could just knock this down to pedal assist 4. And we're doing about 20, and I can definitely tell that I'm now helping the bike. It looks like we're dropping, oh, that was just a little bit of voltage sag there. It looks like we are dropping a few bars, which, woo, that was kind of cool. Surprised that has that much rigidity up front. This is, I would think, accurate, rather than a lot of bikes that I test ride where it's just really not. I mean, you ride around off-road for 45 minutes and you don't even drop a bar. I think I'll hold 28 all day on the pavement with just the throttle. No pedal input at all. This is a comfortable bike to ride. I really like cruising on this thing, but I'm not looking to cruise on the pavement all day. I'm looking to do some off-road riding. That front's not bottoming. That's impressive. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting to 28 coming up the hill here. Slight incline on some bumpy gravel. Guess maybe we just don't get 28 anymore with that many bars dropped. 48 volts, 48.5, 7 miles. Actually 6, I guess there was a mile on it before I took off. I get asked a lot what the bikes that I test will give you for range, and honestly, I think I really would trust the manufacturer's numbers, with the caveat that they're testing those on a complete on a completely flat, straight surface, not doing wheelie practice and 0 to top speed runs or anything like that. Woo! Whoa, yeah, this thing, she's got some wheelie potential. I better be careful. I mean, not like I didn't already almost throw myself off the back. I was really, after I got this thing, thinking, what am I thinking taking this thing off-road? You know, this just does not seem like, mostly because of the bars, does not seem like a bike that I should be testing on my normal circuit here. But I don't know, the more I ride this thing, it feels tight and playful and fun. I don't know. I don't think this is a half bad bike if you want to do a little bit of goofing around on it. Oop, is that my trail? How about a turning radius with our forks here? Ooh, yeah. Look at that. So even though we've got the big double crown fork on here, you can turn this thing, I mean, basically 90 degrees. That's more than you'll ever need. All right. Well, let's see how it does on a little bit of mountain bike track here. Of course, we don't really have the right geometry. We don't have the right size tires. Being 20 inches, they're not really going to be able to crawl over things as easy as a bigger tire would. But it seems like it's certainly possible. I do wish these had just a little bit less sweep, meaning not a good time to let off. Not such a drastic angle cutting back towards me. I think this bike would be surprisingly capable out here. I do feel a bit of vibration coming through everything. I guess maybe I should still just even soften that front up a bit. Can definitely tell the grips are too slippery. Woo! Yeah, not set up for that, but of course cushion's a lot better than a hardtail would. And I think the frame is just long enough and the wheelbase is long enough that it doesn't seem like it feels too twitchy. Not to say that it might still not end up on my face if I do something wrong here. I know from personal experience. Wow, yeah, not a bad landing when you come down on both tires. Whoa. Brakes feel fairly controllable with one finger. Would want two fingers on to get the right amount of power, but you are able to use the brakes with just a couple fingers. Yeah, I can definitely feel that suspension kind of bouncing me off a bit, and possibly airing down the tires would possibly smooth that out. A little bit awkward out here for certain, but I would not say, whoa, other than almost getting tossed off, that I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. I think we will have to drop the pedal assist down if I'm going to pedal, though. Let's give that a shot. Yeah, nice mellow pace. Seems like the pedal assist level is not at all linked with the throttle. Throttle will give you, seems like, full power. Yeah, definitely getting kind of thrown around a bit on some of the choppier stuff. Whoa! Ooh! Drag the pedal. So not a huge amount of ground clearance, but of course if you got your pedal all the way down, you go over a bump. It's just bound to contact something when you're riding off-road once in a while. Climbs up these hills pretty much no problem. Pedal assist 3. Gear 5, I think, or 4. Whoa! We got some big jumps coming up. Not gonna do anything dumb though. Woo! Yeah, definitely handles those all right. I could feel that second one bottomed the rear. I guess for as much as I complained about the throttle not being snappy, I'm not really noticing that it's all that much too slow out here. Well, now we're coming up on where I went on my face on the first smaller bike that I tested up here. Here it comes. Oh, yeah, definitely not meant for things like that. We're getting close to my hill climb spot. Not too far away here. I gotta say, I really do not mind pedaling this thing. Usually I kind of stick to the throttle exclusively just because I feel like it's a little bit easier to, I don't know, kind of make sure you don't run yourself off the trail, I guess. Intuitive isn't really the right word, but it does feel like I have enough control anyways. Might have to hit the brakes a bit, which of course do have the cut-off sensors in both of them, front and rear. So all you got to do is really tap the the brakes, either one, and it will give you the, or it'll cut the motor off completely. Oh, we got some power back now? What's going on? So yeah, we must have had a bunch of voltage sag going on before when I was watching it. Although I wouldn't imagine being out here that I would be seeing bars coming back, but I guess I have been pedaling with my feet a bit, so maybe we just haven't been drawn enough that motor can actually, or that the sensor can actually tell what type of voltage is left in the battery. And how much is that? 49.9 volts. Been riding for 35 minutes, or at least since I turned it on last. 10 miles. And yeah, we're what, down 2 bars, I think? 2 or 3? Whoa! Oh, somebody's getting a little wore out. I guess this is the first ride of the season, or at least ride since a couple months ago. Oh, I got that all opened up here now? Oh, I suppose we better shift it down. And pedal assist level up. I thought they just covered this part up and it was done. This is the Marathon County landfill. All right, let's see. I guess we'll do a little bit of a rolling start. Will this make it up? Having to put in some input. Front end's coming off a bit. Ooh, boy, though, she's got some torque. I mean, of course I have to help it, but I mean that. What is that? It's garbage, I guess. That is a very, very steep hill. So I was saying that this thing is telling the truth, but I guess now I'm kind of wondering, 11 pretty difficult miles and still have like 3/4 full of battery? I suppose it's not a small battery, and it is a fairly light bike. And one thing I'm noticing about these lock-on grips, and I guess if I changed the angle that they were at, maybe that wouldn't be a problem. But the fastener that locks the grip on right here, I can definitely tell when I'm sort of moving back and forth between the brake and the throttle and the grip. I'm kind of rubbing my hand on it, and that's definitely kind of sticks out a bit. Why is it just this one there? That one's not. Oh well. Whoa! Double! Oh! Yep. I wonder if you replace that shock on the back with something heavier, how this thing would feel. I bet that would be interesting. I would almost like to stick a different set of bars on here, and maybe I'll do that someday. I'll just do a specific video for that test. Whoa! Over on the Swanky Bike Rides channel, which I can put a link for. Eventually, I'm hoping to move all of my e-bike content over there and just have that be sort of a standalone channel for this type of content. There's our track. Really seems probably the most at home on here, and I would say this is probably where the bike is going to be kind of its happiest, because you're not doing any ridiculously, sharp lefts and rights or ups and downs or whatever. What do we need to do yet? The big jump, I suppose. The tires, though, as far as the tread pattern goes and the width, I've got to say I'm pretty happy to have them out here. Whoa! I think a fat tire really can make a pretty sizable difference in your amount of off-road comfort. Here it comes. Oh boy. Woo! Yeah, definitely a hard landing on the rear, but I didn't exactly make the landing either. Back out on the pavement. Let's see what we can get this thing up to without too much input. Yeah, so once we're down to 3 bars, looks like you're stuck at right around 25. This is a very smooth, relatively quiet bike. The motor almost makes like no noise at all. The kind of same deal with the brakes. If that seat was maybe just a hair wider, it'd be a bit more comfortable for me. But I think kind of in general, this bike is really designed more for somebody with sort of my frame size and kind of down. Standing up and pedaling is a little weird just because the bars are so high compared to where the pedals are. I'm also a bit worn out from the day, but you can do it. Standing up with the pedals kind of at 3 and 6, 3 and 9, actually feels really good. I like it. It's kind of a nice spot to just stand up, stretch my back out a bit. Definitely feels good. Hey, look at that. It dropped down to pedal assist 4, and now we've got almost a half a tank again. And now that we're on pedal assist 5, doing almost 27, we're back down to 2 bars. Oh! Beautiful spring day. So, what do we end up with here? About 20 miles since I took off. Voltage is moving around a bit. Seems like we're somewhat settled on 45.3 volts. So the energy bar says we're a little bit less than half a tank. This, though, of course, means we're actually at. So really not too darn bad for 20 pretty hard miles. I would say that is pretty impressive. One thing that I forgot to mention when I was taking a look at this in the garage is that it really does have kind of a nice handle here under the back seat, which is super nice for situations where you need to pick the bike up and turn it around. I mean, it's kind of invaluable. I've had bikes where there's nothing to grab on back here, and while the rack is a possibility, this is a much nicer place to hang on to the bike. So all in all, I would say if this is the type of bike that you're after, I think this is a really cool, comfy, smooth riding bike that I would not hesitate to take out on another ride. I think I will probably keep this one around a bit for my wife to ride, and I guess I can maybe give you guys an update at some point on how she likes it. But as far as the ride that I took today, I had a blast on it for just getting out and cruising, doing a little bit of gravel roads. Even if things get bumpy, the suspension definitely will handle most things that I think the majority of people would throw at this. So really no concerns there. The small tires aren't the greatest for handling or for off-roading, but like I said to begin with, it does kind of make it a little bit easier to get the bike moving, especially if you run it completely out of juice. Obviously it seems like that's not really going to be too much of an issue unless you're going to do some really long hard riding. Definitely like the ergonomics and the comfort and how easy it is to get on this thing. Battery access, super easy. You don't have to worry about dropping it into the tire or anything. Really a pretty nice bike. I think the only things that I would change, maybe a little bit wider seat, a little bit bigger chain ring, and I would probably put some straighter bars on it. But if this is the type of bar that you're looking for, man, I mean, I think for the average person, this is a darn nice bike for cruising around and enjoying this beautiful world. So make sure you guys get out and do that no matter what kind of bike you've got. It's a beautiful day. Every day you're alive to get out here and enjoy it, so make sure you do that. If you want to pick one of these up, check out the more section below the video. Any affiliate codes and discount codes will be down there towards the top. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, stay safe, stay swanky. Get out and ride.